our money is currently funding a totally outdated factory-style method of education. It's f***ed. Welcome to Neuroeducation, where we're exploring the neuroscience of how to switch on the brain to supercharge learning. I'll be sharing with you innovative teaching techniques, effective parenting strategies, and educational advocacy. I'm your host, Angie Dee. Together, let's revolutionize children's learning. Hello and welcome back to Neuroeducation with Angie Dee. Today we're talking about politics and education and what you can do. We have an education system in Australia that is funded on the backs of taxpayers. That's you, that's me, that's your brother, your sister, all of the people you know. When you look around, they are the people that are literally funding our education system. Now, we are funding this education system. If we are the funders, we should also have a say. And in this democratic nation that we live in, we have a democratic right to have a say how our education plays out. What is our money currently going towards? Sadly, our money is currently funding a totally outdated factory-style method of education. And, excuse my French, it's fucked. Because children are sitting there day after day, bored as batshit. I feel like what we need is a total education revolution. And you and I can have a massive impact on how that plays out. In so many other areas of politics, people feel like they have a say. They want to put their hands up and they want to have their 2 cents heard. In voice to parliament, in renewable energy, in all of these areas, people are talking about what they want to see happen in our current political climate. But when it comes to education, I hear crickets. But we have the power. It is a totally democratic area where we have the power to make positive change. Now, the most dramatic areas of positive change I have seen in education has been on the backs of parents. In 2 incredible schools in Brisbane, Australia, they are running a Montessori program. That means alongside the mainstream method of education that's running in the traditional school, they have started a Montessori method of education through the schooling process, starting in prep and every year gaining 1 grade more. Groverley State School in Brisbane and also Capalaba State School in Brisbane have been running these innovative programs, bringing Montessori, an alternative method of education that is highly, highly recommended by neuroscientists worldwide, into our public education system. This is one of the first times we have had something that is usually private, incredibly expensive, that is only available for the, let's say, high echelon of society, of people that can afford it, bringing it to the people. Now, how did these 2 schools implement a totally alternative method of education? A parent group in Groveley who had their children going to a Montessori community kindergarten wanted a Montessori primary school option for their children. There was nothing available to them in the area. So they approached Groveley State School. And as a parent body, they advocated for their children and they advocated for an alternative method of education. Lo and behold, 6 months later, Groveley started the first Montessori program. The same thing happened at Capalaba State School. An incredible woman, Rebecca Gruen, who was running Montessori childcare centers, wanted a Montessori option for children, for her own children, and for children in that area of Brisbane. There was nothing available, And after trying also to start an independent school, she decided with the parent group that was supporting her to take it to the state school. She took it to Groveley State School. Lo and behold, 6 months later, Montessori had started. Now we know Montessori is backed by neuroscience, it's backed by educational research, and it's backed by child psychology. What we have now in 2 schools in Brisbane is an innovative educational approach to learning. And the 2 parent groups that brought this education method in, brought it in by advocating on behalf of their children. Now, this is no different to you or I, where we can approach another school for your children. You can get together with a parent group. You can talk to people about how we can create change in our school community. Obviously, there are so many things you can do without even dramatically changing it to the point of introducing an alternative method of education. There are other things you can do. Participating in school maximizes your child learning. As the old adage and the quote goes, it takes a village to raise a child. And the best classrooms that I have personally seen across Queensland are classrooms and schools that have had the maximum amount of community support. That means there are grandparents that are coming in and reading and helping with the classroom. There are parent volunteers that are helping to run reading groups or maths groups to make the hands-on learning more available to the children. And at these schools, the maximum amount of input from parents and grandparents and the community members is where I see learning excelling the most. So it comes down to our capacity as parents to be able to activate change. Teachers, God bless them, are so overworked and have so much demand put upon them by the curriculum, by the state board, by the national government, and every single other thing that they have to tick off to be able to teach our children. So yes, we can come in and we can advocate as parents to the P&C, the parent-teacher communities at the schools, and we can also do this for the principals, and it can propose different options. But the Montessori curriculum in Australia is now approved as an independent curriculum, which means state schools have the capacity to be able to do what Groveley State School did and what Capalaba State School did. They have the capacity to come in and to implement an alternative method of education like Montessori, even if it's co-aligned with the school. Montessori being a very independent method of learning where the children are slowly building their independence from a very young age is really important, that it is started from the age of prep and that slowly builds in. Montessori is not something that can be implemented school-wide in one shot, but it can be implemented step by step, slowly, as one prep class moves into grade 1 and grade 1 into grade 2 and so on. These are things that we can advocate in our local community, and I hope I have inspired you to talk to your parents and teachers and even your principal to make positive change in your local community, because if it's not you, then who? Thank you for listening. Please subscribe on Apple Podcasts and also on Spotify. Give us a 5-star review and subscribe on YouTube, and look down below for all of the links. Look forward to chatting in the next episode.